Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for this video. I'm joined here by Andy Cracknell, who's the General Manager for Naue in the United Kingdom and for Ireland. We are exclusive distributors for the Bentifix range of products in the United Kingdom for waterproofing. But I just want to let you introduce yourself. How long have you been with Naue and what is kind of your role on a day-to-day basis, Andy?
Oh, thanks, Reese. Yeah, my role is general manager, looking after the whole of the sales process. Obviously, with Brexit, it's made a little bit more challenging this last few months, but and just starting the year as a few traumas. But yeah, so I look after the UK and Ireland. We have a group of sales guys for both environmental sales, which takes up our landfill business, which is probably 40 to 50% of our business in the UK and Ireland. And then we have infrastructure sales guys who look after the infrastructure side, which predominantly is geogrids for stabilisation, reinforcement, etc. I've been with the company now coming up to 16 years in April. So yeah, done the rounds. Yeah, so I'm still here fighting.
Great. So that's introducing you. Let's introduce Naue then. Who are Naue as a company and what do you guys specialize in and what's the history of Naue?
Well, Naue have been around. They're a German-based company, family-run, still family-run. So they're on the second generation now. The people who developed the company have now retired. But their sons, two of the brothers, they've both got sons within the business. So two of the sons run the business, and the business started in around about 1967, I believe. Started out with making geotextiles, predominant for hydraulic engineering, and then grew into, I suppose maybe they got a little bit bored of just selling one product. And manufacturing one product. They looked to actually then grow the business into different types of geosynthetic products. There's a lot of geosynthetic manufacturers in the world that generally focus on one type of product group. Now, with how they've grown, they started out with one product group, but they wanted to be a global player with multiple products and more of a solution provider than just selling products. So yeah, from the outset, that's what they wanted to do. And the business is growing now into over 100 million a year globally. There's not a lot of it. We've now got representation in, I don't know how many countries there are, but certainly in the Far East, Middle East, in America and Canada. And all over Europe. So yeah, we've got a good flood of products into lots of the different areas.
Amazing, thank you so much. So it's really a global company that's committed to bringing solutions to the right people, I guess. From a perspective of, if people don't know what we're talking about when we talk about geosynthetics or geotextiles, do you want to just do a brief explanation of what we're really talking about here and what we're looking at?
Yeah, I suppose geotextiles have been used, geosynthetic products have been used for a number of years now. And we're using more and more for sustainability. There's a lot of projects that would not get built if they had to use man-made products. If they had to use sort of concrete, granular material. There's a lot of products out there on the marketplace now that actually reduce the amount of materials that you need for transportation. So, you know, we for instance, we sell a lot of the Bentifix for landfill lining systems. And if you can imagine, I think we've done a study on this, that if you had a landfill cell construction of 4,000 cubic meters, 4,500 cubic meters, 1 cubic meter of compacted clay is the same as 1 square metre of geosynthetic clay liner Bentifix. So we can stick 4,500 square metres into one truck.
Yeah.
If you were to do that on with compacted clay, I think it's something like 185 truckloads that you need to actually get moving onto the site to actually then compact that. So sustainability, carbon footprint, we're going down the right way to make it a greener environment.
Amazing. So we're looking at 1967 for kind of the first development from the Naue company. And then if we look at 1987, that was the first development of the Bentifix range of products, so the Bentifix clay liners. They were developed and patented, and so these are the really like the original sodium bentonite membranes on the market, weren't they? What did that introduce for you guys Naue back then, and how is that still kind of developing for you guys now?
Oh, right, yeah. The Bentifix regarding the development was brought in predominantly for landfill engineering. So the example I just used there was a good example, and from I suppose 1987 we weren't as aware of sustainability as what we are now. But certainly when you look back and you see that the foresight that they had is obviously making massive changes to the environment. So good for them at that early stage to see them benefits. But yes, so this product that we developed in '87 was, as we say, for landfill engineering. But because when we used it in such a way, we found out that this product's got so many different advantages and so many different potentials for different markets. So then you can look at the time the machinery that we had, we developed the product. Then you start with a machine that's only going to manufacture X amount of product per year. So you've got to then manage that production and see that it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So you need another machine to actually make more product. So you make more product, but then you've got opportunity because you've got then a little bit more production time to look at other markets. So then we started looking at different types of markets. We were looking at sort of protection for the environment for, say, tank farms, where you could get leakage or potential leakage of contaminants going into the water source. So you can actually use it as a capping material then to stop that happening. Other areas were pond liners and lagoon liners and canals, and there were lots of different opportunities then that grew because this product was so good as water retention. And then we started to branch out into these different markets. As focus initially was always on the landfill, because that was at that time a very big important part of our business for growing that product group. But as you move on, then you start getting into the 2008, 2009, we start seeing then a little bit of a drop in the landfill engineering, because again, environmentalists, we don't want to be actually digging the ground out and putting nasties in the ground. So they were looking at different options and saying, well, what else can we do? So incineration comes in, recycling comes in, and we had a little bit of a dip in that marketplace. So we repositioned the product into different markets, and hence the waterproofing was one of the markets that we went into.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So regarding Bentifix and waterproofing then, what are some of the major benefits of the Bentifix product itself?
Well, I think, there's a lot of good products on the market, and, I'm not here to actually, say that, this is better than that product or whatever. I think the benefits of using these types of products against other types of let's say cast in situ membranes or peel and stick membranes, self-adhesive membranes, whatever you want to term them. There's different aspects, there's different benefits for different products, and there's different applications. Certainly what I think working with Bentifix over the last I would say 20 years, because I worked with this type of product before I joined Naue, is that the versatility of the product. So if you've got a basement to actually do a tanking type A solution, you need a compacted ground, a decent ground to actually put your material on. You don't need a concrete blinding. You need a compacted hardcore. As long as it's smooth, you can lay this product directly onto that. Then you can put your steelwork in place and cast your concrete. In a lot of other types of product, you may need some sort of blinding down.
Yeah.
So I think from that perspective, we found that building sites are usually very dirty places. So, and it's not easy to actually work in these areas. So the robustness of this type of product, the beauty also being self-healing. There is a lot of different membranes on the market, and they don't get protection, and they're very thin. But this product being 7 millimeters thick and having this sodium bentonite product in there that actually swells then with water, is a big advantage to something that maybe could get punctured, and then you can't reseal it. So I think that there's lots of different advantages. If you were up against a sea-compiled wall, for instance, it's not easy to do that with other types of membranes. So you might have to put a sprayed concrete on there. There's a cost associated with that. You might have to put some marine plywood on there. There's a cost associated with, there's lots of different things that it's adding cost to the build. So I think from a cost effectiveness with these types of products, ease of installation, I think that's where the benefits are with the Benefix range of products for waterproofing.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I've seen on site when I've been on site, it's quick and relatively easy and cost effective to install, because obviously it comes in rolls, and then it's a fixing through it. When the lap is over it, you're pretty much done for that, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's home in. You mentioned that it's a swelling product. We call it obviously a self-healing product. What's the limitations of that? What's the kind of the maximum that can do? And what's the benefits of having a product that self-heals?
Well, I think, with these products, they've got to be used correctly. It might be a robust product, but it's still got its limitations. It needs to be confined. So, if we're putting it on a floor slab, we need to make sure that where as protection for a floor slab, we need to make sure that we're not going to get any settlement below the membrane, because we then could have a problem there where we haven't got confinement. So we need to be putting these in the right places. If we put in the material against a sea-compiled wall or a diaphragm wall, we're going to then put against that, we're going to actually cast concrete against it. So we've got a load going against either side of it. And the more pressure we can get on there, the better the performance is going to be with this type of product. If for some instance the membrane gets damaged in some way, shape or form, we've done experiments in the laboratory to see how it actually works, and we've got evidence to show that a 25 millimeter hole that gets actually punctured into that area, as long as that material, the product is getting hydrated, that punctured hole will actually reseal within 48 hours. So you've got a product that's going to actually create this high swelling pressures of the sodium bentonite. And one of the key things also is the fact that the sodium bentonite is a powdered format. There are different types of bentonite on the market. If I said to you, why does powdered work better than granular? I think you'd have to look at your own examples as to see why that would be. But I generally use the old bath salts. If you put bath salts in the water, you've got to wash it around a little bit before it actually dissolves. You've still got some particles. What you get in a product with a Benefix type product or a GCL product is you're going to have voids within the GCL if you've got granules in there. So if you've got granules in there, that's a path then for water to travel before it actually hydrates if you've got a powdered bentonite, as soon as this water gets into the actual product, then it actually absorbs that water, and actually that it forms this this gel format that actually gives you your sealing properties.
That's great. That's actually the next point that I was going to try and bring out of you. So thank you for going that naturally. So if we're going to talk about where it can be used from a waterproofing perspective, what we'd advertise is new build basements, basement refurbishments, semi-basements, storage or plant rooms, below ground car parks, retaining walls, lift pits, tunnels, podium decks, and below swimming pools as well. There's a whole range of places that we can utilize this type A system. Production facility, then let's talk about the research and development that happens over in Germany. We're always excited to see kind of content come out from there, because it looks like a pretty great facility. I just want to talk us through kind of how big that is over there, and what goes on and what kind of research goes on in that facility.
Yeah, I think because we were the pioneers of GCLs, and that's what this topic is for today. Yeah, we've done a lot of work. You know, we have a product manager for the product who's been with the company over 30 years, seen this development, and you know, he sits on the all the different technical committees for the International Geosynthetics Society, and lots of different bodies that actually look at actually promoting good practice and right types of products. So we've got a lot of history because we developed this product. We haven't sat back and said, right, this is the product, this is what we're going to use, and that's it. You know, we've tried to develop the product as well and get the best out of it. I think one of the main performing factors and functions of the product, well, the main benefit really is, and I think it's not promoted enough, is the fact that we have this thermal lock system within the actual GCL. So when you make the geotextile clay liner, the Benefix product, it's a non-woven needle punch geotextile that goes on the top. And the difference between the Naue type of product and others is it's a very robust 300 grams per square meter, which is quite a good weight for this type of application, and it's more forgiving. Let's say, you know, we're going to have this on a building site where guys are going to be walking all over it with pebbles. It's stuck to the boots. You know, we're going to be putting steel on it, dropping steel on it. So you need a product that's going to be, you know, quite robust to be able to accept that type of application. So we've got a 300 gram non-woven geotextile on the top. We have a 200 gram geotextile, a woven geotextile on the base. And then we have our sodium bentonite actually in between. Now, the process of doing when we're manufacturing this is that once we've actually, the first material that goes through is the woven on the base. Then we actually go through the silo and the actual powder is dropped onto it and distributed evenly. And then we put then the non-woven geotextile 300 gram on top of that. Once that's gone through, then we send that material then through a bed of, it's a needle punching process. So we needle punch all the way through this GCL, and what happens is the fibers that come through the top go all the way through the product and through the actual non-woven on the base. Now these products, these fibers are part of a labyrinth of products. So we've got these in place. Now what we do then is we actually put a heat sealing system. So we actually put a torch, a flame to this, so it shrivels up all these fibers that actually then cause a lock. So it actually stops the actual product from actually just swelling and pulling away from these fibers. So it locks it in place. So that gives us a better shear plane. So if we've got if we've got a vertical wall with the GCL in place, if you didn't have this, you could get some slippage. Some shearing effect. So because we've got this geotextile clay liner that's got this thermal bond, this stops that from happening. Other products and similar products may not have that. so you won't get the same shear value. So I think these are things that are not looked upon enough. If you've got a vertical wall that's 3 meters high, and you're going to stick something to it, and you've not got any, it starts swelling, or before the swelling, you could lose some of the granular type materials or some of the semi-granular materials because they'll start sliding, start moving. So I think that there is a great benefit of having a thermal lock, and I'm not aware of any other manufacturer who offer that. There may well be, but I've not seen them. Yeah. So from that perspective, I think the thermal lock is a great product, great part of the product that's underestimated, I think, and not really pushed as much within the specifications.
Yeah, for sure. And that's so helpful, and that's obviously a result of like deep research and development, and that's something we're obviously thankful for. Like partnering with you guys is that we partner with you guys because we believe you're a quality brand. You're obviously the initial guys on the market in regards to sodium bentonite membranes, and still market leaders, and still developing leaders. And world leaders now, obviously, as you said, with kind of being in America, the Middle East, Malaysia, and in the UK and across Europe, really being like global market leaders. And so we're delighted to actually just be the exclusive distributors for this range of products in the United Kingdom. And why, from your perspective, would you then choose Atoll UK?
I think it's like anything, isn't it? You deal with people, hundreds of people in this business, in sales and in these different markets. I worked with Dave Rees many years ago. We both worked for a different, another manufacturer or supplier, and I knew Dave from that time. Dave left to go to a different place. I left to come and came to Naue. We always kept in touch. Dave stayed in waterproofing. I went in more general sort of civil engineering, environmental engineering, hydraulic engineering. But we've always kept in touch, and Dave started using our product through a third party. And then I think that's where then Dave decided he wanted to go a bit bigger with Atoll and take it on board himself as opposed to working for someone else. So I think inevitably you get in a position where Dave was the driving force. We were in a position where, we as a company, we don't always want to tie all those products with one company, for sure, because we need a bit more of a open market as such. But I think Dave demonstrated that he was keen to actually drive this through the UK. Our setup was that we were working with a number of different outlets prior to 2008 when the collapse happened. And certainly in Ireland, it never returned to what it was. So we lost a lot of that, them customers. So there was opportunities arose, and we had to start a little bit more from scratch. But Dave already had a history with these types of products, so he wanted to push that type of product, which suited us. So we got involved with Dave. And we decided to go, full on and make an exclusivity, because we wanted our brand to stay there. We want Bentifix as a brand because, it's like you say, it's a global brand. It's trademarked. It's a product that's been developed for these types of applications. So, while ever we've got our product still out there, the name Bentifix is getting shown in lots of different areas. So it's good advertisement for any types of projects. So, yeah, and we've worked with other companies, but we do on a lot of areas, certainly in the UK and Ireland, is we do like to partner with people because it shows our commitment to them and their commitment to ourselves. So, we can get this strong bond, we can support each other, and we can grow together. We've all been in tough times this last year and previous years. It's up and down. So, yeah, we've got good products. We've got products that we're developing products all the time. The X2 was a new range of products that we added to the Bentifix, which is giving benefits as well, because we've got more resistance then to gas within the ground. So, and uses of that product also in the environmental side. So, yeah, we keep in developing this product, and that's a part of our setup really for how we want to actually push forward.
Yeah, brilliant. I think from like our perspective then, I guess some of the major benefits is that we really value kind of being innovative leaders. We're kind of the new kids on the block, I guess, being a company that's 8 years old, but we're just rapidly kind of introducing technologies with all departments, I guess, type A, B, and C. But we see that whilst it's the original, is still, we believe, is the best one on the market for obviously the benefits that you've explained. And so from our perspective, we want to deliver high quality but cost efficient solutions, and obviously easy to install solutions as well. And Ventifix has all of that within it. So just a brief bit before we close then on actually Brexit and an update, I guess, on we're thankful that there is some form of place to ensure that the kind of tariffs don't come in. But have you got any updates on that?
I think the only updates I have at the moment, I mean, we first week back, aren't we? I mean, from our perspective, we're finding freight prices very expensive at the moment. The manufacturing costs, we've still got a similar sort of setup to what we've had. So I think it's as raw materials coming in and out that's the cost. It's the shipment now coming out of Germany to get it over into the UK. So yeah, I'm hopeful that it's going to quieten down, but we'll see. But you know, I think with this type of product in the market that you're in, we're still in a very competitive type of product. I think, you know, there's a lot of views on different products, i.e. regarding the unit cost. But I think that, you know, there needs to be a bit more push on, you know, the actual supply and install cost of this solution is X. You know, and you know, you take away then your blinding concrete, you take away then your primers, and the fact that because we're now at -1 degrees, you can't use the primers. So you know, there's lots of benefits that you can actually say with this type of product. As you know, we can use this product in most climates. You know, we can, you know, we say don't use it, you know, in water. No, for sure don't. You know, this is but what we say is if the substrate is damp, it's fine. As long as it's not a puddled water, you're fine. So you know, and you're looking again, if you're looking at peel and stick and primers, you can't do that. So there's a delay then in the actual operational side. So I think there's the big push maybe is where do we what is the cost, supply and install cost of these solutions, as opposed to a unit price of a peel and stick membrane that's you know 0.9 of a millimeter thick, and needs a protection board and a primer. So I think they're the benefits where you can actually get in there and offer these types of solutions moving forward for sure. But Brexit wise, again going back to Brexit, with the freight, I think that'll quieten down, and I think we'll get back to some sort of normality. Don't feel any difference. You know, we supply worldwide, so we don't generally have any problems. You know, if we supply into different parts of the world, you know, the World Trade Organization, they have tariffs, and you know, they just come into play, and we adhere by whatever that is. But no, our focus is produce quality products, be at the forefront of development, and try and push the product forward, developing to the market requirements, really.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we'll leave it there for now. So thank you to everyone for tuning in, watching this. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. We're so excited to still have all inquiries coming through and to be able to partner with both Naue and our other partners, Schomburg from Germany. And we absolutely believe that they're market leaders and innovative developers of the products, and remain incredibly efficient in their development, and incredibly efficient in delivering on time to our facilities here, ready to be then distributed to all over the UK to be installed. So yeah, if you do have any questions, then please don't hesitate to get in touch. We've got a lot of marketing material as well that we can send to you, or kind of product samples as well, and we'd love to be in touch. So thank you very much, Andy.
Cheers. Thanks, Reece.
And thank you from myself.